Good morning, dear students. Welcome back. So, we were learning about education, chapter 5. We'll continue with the same. In today's video, we are going to learn about Indira Gandhi National Open University and many other topics. Before that, we are going to learn about the use of satellites in education. Now, children, in the year 1975, India met with success in its attempt to use a satellite for the purpose of education. Eknath Chitnis, a scientist with ISRO, played an important role in it. SITE, that is, Satellite Instructional Television Experiment, was undertaken for educational purpose under the leadership of the Space Application Center at Ahmedabad. The concept of satellite education came out of this experiment. America had helped India in this program. The program helped to make provisions for a good standard of education in rural areas. So, in this way, with the help of this satellite, education was given more emphasis, and because of this education with the help of satellite, people could get a good standard education even in the rural areas. And even America helped us in this particular program. Now, moving to the next is the Indira Gandhi National Open University, which is also known as IGNOU. This Open University was established with the objective that the stream of education should make its way into every average household of the country. The United Nations had declared 1970 as the International Education Year. In the same year, a seminar was organized in New Delhi on the subject of Open University by the Government of India Departments of Education and Social Welfare, Information and Broadcasting, University Grants Commission along with UNESCO. The idea of establishing an open university evolved in this seminar. Now they wanted to remove all the limitations coming in the way of education, and hence this idea of open university came up in the seminar in UNESCO. Okay. Now, in 1974, the government appointed a committee under the chairmanship of Parthasarathy, P. Parthasarathy, and the Open University took shape on 20th September 1985. In accordance with its recommendations and suggestions, it was named after Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Okay, so the name which it got was from Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Those who are able to get a college education in the formal way are given concessions in eligibility criteria, age, and other conditions for admission to this university. In the year 1990, the IGNOU started an audiovisual distance education program through Akashvani and Doordarshan. Now see, another beneficial program for everybody to take advantage was this distance education started through audiovisual program. Now what is this audiovisual? People sitting far away in other countries, in other places, in other cities, in rural areas, wherever they are, they could get education through this Akashvani and Doordarshan channel. Okay, it conducted more than 1000 curricula of various branches. It provides facility for education through 58 training centers in the country and 41 centers in foreign countries. Now see, not only in India but outside India also there are 41 centers in various foreign countries and 58 training centers in India. Okay, now they cover not only one but 1000 curricula of various branches. Okay, so this way IGNOU has started with the open education, which is very much beneficial for people those who are not able to get a college education in a formal way. Okay, like going for regular colleges, etc. If it is not possible, so this type of universities are beneficial for them. Okay, next is research institution in science. In the post-independence period in 1950, the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, that is CSIR, was established with the objective to promote scientific research in the country and to take the benefit of the research to all the people. Okay, now CSIR, the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. This particular council was established for people to know more about science and promote scientific research. Okay, now research began in the fields like physics, chemistry, pharmaceuticals, food processing and mining. In order that industrial benefits from this research, contracts were signed with industrial institutes that helped to reduce our imports and save foreign currency. This institute also motivated fundamental research. The laboratories of the council also played an important role in bringing back to the country students who had gone abroad for higher education. Now see children, in the previous time, the education facilities was not that much advanced in India, and hence people had to travel abroad. Okay, now because of this particular council of scientists, scientific and industrial research, they took a step towards development in such a way that the students, those who are going abroad, should not go, but here only whatever they are going to get it there will be imparted here in our country. Okay, that way these laboratories of council also started up. The achievements of CSIR includes making the ink used for making voters' fingers during election, medicines for malaria, elephantiasis and tuberculosis, water purification technology, reduction in the time required for bamboo production. It also used DNA fingerprinting for the first time in India, conducted a genetic study of Adivasis of the Andaman and proved that those tribes are 60,000 years old, and developed the earthquake early warning system. Now see, so many research works these CSIR are doing. See, this young ink which is used for elections, which remains for a longer period of time, is a research by the CSIR. Then medicines for these diseases like the malaria, elephantiasis and tuberculosis. See, the foot which is becoming like elephant, that is known as elephantiasis. Then this malaria and tuberculosis as well. So all of these medicines were research done by the CSIR. These are the achievements done by them. Then the next was the water purification technologies. Then reduction in time for production of bamboo. Then also they started used DNA fingerprint for the first time in India. So these are the achievements of the CSIR, and they were the ones to find out that, proved that the tribes of Andaman are 60,000 years old. Okay, so these are all of the achievements by the CSIR. It has also played an important role in the use of neem as a pesticide, use of turmeric for healing wounds, and in the case of the patients of varieties of patents of varieties of rice. So all of these they have done. They have made pesticides using neem, then turmeric. Used turmeric for healing wounds. Then the CSIR has prepared a digital encyclopedia of Indian traditional knowledge and made it available in 8 international languages. So see, all of these are done by the CSIR. Next we are going to learn about the field of mathematics in education. The National Institute of Research in the Mathematical and Physical Sciences in Tamil Nadu was established in the year 1962, and it encouraged the highest level of research in mathematics. Okay, so there was a center which was established in Tamil Nadu for mathematical and physical science research in the year 1962. Okay, then coming to computers, in the year 1969, we made the first indigenous computer named the ISIJU computer, as this was achieved by the Indian Statistical Institute and Jadavpur University working together. In 1974, Tata Consultancy Services, that is the TCS, obtained an American contract in the area of software production, and that was the beginning of the software industry in India. Computers also helped to step up the speed of scientific research. Now, see, this was again a boon to the nation in the year 1974 as the Tata Consultancy Services. You must have heard TCS many times. It obtained a contract with America, okay, and then the software production increased in India, okay, and then in 1987 America refused to allow India to get a supercomputer. The Rajiv Gandhi government decided to develop a supercomputer indigenously. Okay, that means without any help, we tried to do it on our own, as America that time refused to allow India to get a supercomputer. Okay, maybe they were under the fear that if we make a supercomputer, we may develop more than them, and hence they denied for helping us. That time the Rajiv Gandhi government decided to develop by ourselves. Okay, in 1988 the central government established the Center for Development of Advanced Computer, that is CDAC, in Pune, and in 1991 the center under the leadership of Dr. Vijay Bhatkar developed the Param 8000, that is a supercomputer. Okay, and finally without any help we were able to make our own computer or supercomputer in the year 1991 under the leadership of Dr. Vijay Bhatkar. Okay, and it was named as Param 8000. Moving to the next, we have the BARC, that is the Bhabha Atomic Research Center. This institute has conducted valuable research in the fields of nuclear physics, solid state physics, spectroscopy, chemical, and life science. It also started a school to train scientists for setting up nuclear reactors. The BARC, known as Bhabha Atomic Research Center, has achieved a lot in the fields of chemicals and life sciences, and also in the field of nuclear reactors. Okay. Next is the achievements made in the fields of engineering. The IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, was set up at Kharagpur in West Bengal in 1951. The objective of this institute was that higher and advanced education in all branches of engineering should be available in India and meet the country's needs. The engineering college at Powai, Chennai, Kanpur, and New Delhi were converted into IITs. The Soviet Union, America, Germany, and the UNESCO also extended help to set up these institutes. Now, see, not only to West Bengal, it was not limited till West Bengal, but then it widespread at Powai, Chennai, Kanpur, and New Delhi also. Then the IITs in India were given the status of deemed universities, and BTech and MTech courses were started there. Admissions through entrance exams, nominal fees, and reservations for students are the special features for the IIT institutions. In the decade from 1970 to 1980, a large number of IIT students began to leave for foreign countries, causing the brain drain crisis. However, this situation changed after 1990. IITs was also established in Guwahati, Assam in 1994 and in Roorkee in 2001. So this way the widespread of IIT took place, and then we are going to learn about the Indian Institute of Management. Coming to Indian Institute of Management, as high quality engineers were graduated from IITs, the center and the Gujarat government started the Indian Institute of Management to mold skilled managers. Harvard Business School in America helped to set up IIM Ahmedabad. Other IIMs have been set up at Kolkata, Bengaluru, Lucknow, Kozhikode, Indore, and Shillong. So, see, after the development of IITs, automatically the Indian Institute of Management, that is the IIM, also increased in numbers and widespread in other states like Kolkata, Bengaluru, Lucknow, Kozhikode, Indore, and Shillong. Next is the National Institute of Design. This institute was established in Ahmedabad in 1961 for the purpose of imparting training in industrial design. Courses in basic design, graphic design, product design, and visual communication were started in 1963 to 64. The work done by this institute includes designing of the transistor radio and the calculator and the logos of Indian Airlines and the State Bank of India. Now see, in this designing they were doing all these works like designing the transistor radio and then the making of calculator and the logos for many Indian Airlines and also the State Bank of India. The logo which you see, the blue color one for the State Bank, is designed by the National Institute of Design. Okay, next moving to is research institutes in the field of medicine. In the post-independence period in 1949, the Indian Council for Medical Research, that is the ICMR, was established for conducting research in the medical field. It was given the responsibility of cooperating with universities, medical colleges, governments and non-government research institutes and giving them guidance and financial support for research activities. Now see, this ICMR, that is the Indian Council of Medical Research, was established so that there could be a funding and proper guidance which could be provided for the research purpose. 26 centers were started in different parts of the country for research on various diseases. Their research had made it possible to control tuberculosis and leprosy. Yes, now you will see that these tuberculosis, previously people used to die because of tuberculosis. But now as research has made it possible, there are medicines through which people can be saved. Even in leprosy, now in the pre-independence period, this leprosy was a very dangerous disease, but after that, after the research etc., this rate of leprosy became very low. All India Institute of Medical Science, that is AIMS, was established to give further impetus to advanced education and research in medicine. It was given the responsibility of undergraduate and postgraduate courses in medicine. Colleges for undergraduate and postgraduate education in most branches of medicine, good research facility and well-equipped hospitals are the significant feature of this institute. Now after this institute, there were a lot of changes which we could see in the field of education in medicine. There were branches of medicine where good research facilities were provided and well-equipped hospitals were seen. After this, AIMS came into scene. This institute also provides medical treatment to the common people at nominal rates. Now those who cannot afford for private hospitals and all, AIMS provides treatment for the normal people also and at a very normal rate. It has established special colleges for training in nursing and super specialty centers for treatments of disorders of the heart, brain and eyes. For further development of the medical field, the Medical Council of India was restructured in 1958 and was entrusted with the task of determining criteria for quality of medical education, its supervision and inspection. These institutes have the responsibility of conducting research on various diseases, developing tests and standardization of medicine. So all of this work is done by the AIMS, that is the All India Institute of Medical Science, and they have made a lot of development in this passing years. Next is the Cancer Research Institutes. The Advanced Center for Treatment, Research and Education in Cancer is a branch of the Tata Memorial Center. It functions as the nominal center for treatment, research and education in relation to cancer. Now children, this Cancer Research Institute is in Mumbai, and first it was set up in Mumbai only, and in other states there was no such treatment for cancer. Cancer being the deadliest of all diseases, you can see, if you go to this place, no, the Tata Memorial Center, you will see the crowd is so much that the giving treatment to so many is very difficult, but still the Tata Memorial Center is managing it very well, and now they are ready with other upcoming institutes in other states also. Next is the Research Institute in Agriculture. Now children, as you all know that agriculture is the main occupation in India. In India, research in agriculture had begun as early as 1905, that is in the year 1905. The Indian Agriculture Institute was given the status of a university in 1958, and work began in departments such as development of the agricultural sector, research, well-equipped laboratories, soil sciences, agricultural sciences, economic, botany, and other departments. Research also began on wheat, pulses, oilseeds, vegetables, and many other problems. Its most significant achievement is the fundamental research it has conducted on the methods of taking multiple crop in a year. Now see, previously children, the farmers used to grow crops according to the season, and only one crop used to be grown, and then later on they used to leave the land fallow so that the fertility of the soil is regained. But after the research, they have come up with such an idea that they can grow multiple crops, okay, which has been of a great benefit to the farmers. This institute maintains a library at its head office in Delhi, which is the biggest agricultural related library in the country. Okay, so in that, so far we have studied about the education and the researches in the fields of education. In the next chapter, we shall study law related to women, women's contribution, and the role of the government with respect to other weaker sections of the society. Now children, please go through the textbook and read the textbook well, and in case of any doubt, you can join the DCS. Thank you. Have a nice day.